So in the last session we tested up to here and we have few more topics in the payables. Before we proceed with these topics, better we can pick this P2P cycle. Okay, we'll see how to create invoices in the payables based on the purchase order and receipt. To test that, we have to implement the P2P cycle. Okay, we have to implement the P2P cycle. First, we'll complete this P2P. After completing P2P, we'll close these few remaining topics in the payables so that we can move to receivables application. Yep. We're going to see that. To implement P2P, these are the basic setups we have to complete from inventory and purchasing application. So these are the basic setups. We'll discuss what is the meaning of those setups and we'll complete those. But reality, when we work for any project, as a finance consultant, we no need to do this setup. Okay, this all should be done by FCM consultant. Okay, but here we are going to complete so that we can test and understand the P2P flow, which is connected with our payables application. Okay, so reality, we no need to do all these setups. With that reason, please don't ignore. Even you just at least you try to test twice or thrice based on your time availability, so that will help you to understand many things, since there is a standard process flow as a part of procurement. Let's see what setups we have to complete. First, we have to assign offerings to project. What offerings we have to assign? So as of now, within our implementation project, we have financials offering. Along with that, we have to add offerings which are related to inventory and to procurement. We'll go and see which offerings we have to add. Go to implementation project. Click on overview. Here is our implementation project. Okay. Fine. So here is our implementation project. We added offering called as financials. Now we are going to work on this P2P cycle. To complete inventory and purchase related setups, we have to add the relevant offerings. Let's add those offerings. You can add offering called as procurement. Within the procurement only, we have application called as purchasing. If you want to complete purchasing related setups, procurement should be part of our project. So add offering called as procurement. Click on add. Search for offering called as procurement. Select procurement. Click on apply. Just wait for a second. It has to create the tasks within the offering. So done. So sorry, it is added inside of this. I selected, so it added. I'm going to delete it. Just 1 second. Okay, don't select financials. I just selected financials and added it into financials. So directly click on add procurement. Say apply. This will be added into project as one of the separate offering. Just wait for a second. You can see within the project. Yeah. Now you can see the procurement offering is added. Now what else we have to add? To complete the inventory related setups, we have to add an offering called as product management. Okay, product management. This will help us to complete few inventory related setups. Search, select, say apply. Just wait for a second. This will be added into project. Done. And we have to add one more offering called as to complete very few setups, okay, which are not possible from the current offerings. Okay, ideally you have to create the sub-inventory concept. In P2P and O2C discussions we discussed about sub-inventory. If you want to create the sub-inventories as a part of this P2P cycle, so that offering is mandatory. That is nothing but material management and logistics. Search with the term called as material. You can find the offering called as material management and logistics. This is required to access the task called as sub-inventory creation. So add this. Just add into project. So in the background we can see financials, procurement, product management, material management and logistics offerings are available. Then say done. And assign business unit business functions to inventory and procurement. Already these we have seen. After creating the business unit, we assign business unit business functions to our BU. But at present, what are the business unit and setups we are using? Those are loaded through rapid implementation. So by default, system assigned all the business functions to BU. That is there, right? So you can go to the task to verify. Because we are going to do the inventory and purchase related setups, we have to make sure that the relevant business functions are already assigned to our BU. Say assign business unit business functions. Assign business unit business function. You can proceed with any task. Okay. Click on go. Select apply and go to task. Find our BU. Select. Say one close. So these are the business functions assigned to our BU. Now we are going to implement inventory and purchasing application. The relevant business function should be assigned here. See, the material management is assigned. It will support inventory. And we'll create the requisitions. Yes, that business function also assigned to this BU. We'll receive the material into inventory. That business function is already assigned. And procurement. Within the procurement only we have purchasing application. So that is also assigned. So this we have to check. These all are assigned. You have to make sure that these business functions are assigned to BU. So that system will allow us to complete the setup. Done. Now we have to create facilities. Okay, we have to create the facilities. The same you can call as workday calendar. As per EBS that we call as workday calendar, in the Fusion we are calling as facilities. It is nothing but how many shifts we have in the organization, what are the working days and non-working days that we have to set up within the inventory. Reality, to use inventory, this setup is not mandatory, but inventory is integrated with many other applications. Okay, so those applications, the facilities definition is mandatory. So when you are implementing inventory, when you are completing the basic setups for inventory, it is mandatory you have to complete this setup. If it is a test instance, you can use any one of the facility, but when you are going to deal with a fresh instance, There won't be any sample data you have to create. Anyway, let's see how to create these facilities. It's a very simple definition. To create the calendar for inventory, first we have to create the shifts, then we have to create the pattern, and we have to create the schedules. Okay, schedules is the one which we use in the inventory organization definition type. We'll see those. Okay, now what we are going to create is facilities. Facilities. So first we have to create the facility shifts. Go to our implementation project. Okay, this is our implementation project. Search for facility shifts. Okay. So you can navigate through any task. All will take us to same page. Click on manage facility shifts. Click on go to task icon. Reality, these setups should be done by SCM consultant. We don't need to do, but here we don't have any SCM consultant to help us to complete these setups to test the P2P cycle. So that is the reason we are trying to understand what setups should be completed to run the P2P cycle. That's all. Click on create. We can give the name as Amex press day shift. The shift timings, say 8 a.m. Duration, say 8 hours. Shift detail type, you can set none. Say save and close. For our testing purpose, you don't need to create multiple shifts. One shift is enough. Done. Now go to workday patterns definition. Manage facility workday pattern. Click on go to task icon. Here try to understand what setups we are doing. If you don't understand what is the purpose of the setup, also no issues, because this is not our job, but let's try to understand. Okay, just click on go to task icon, say create. So Amex workday pattern, length in days 7 days. Okay, 7 days. Just click on add, start date 1, end date says 7. Shift, here you can select Amex day shift. That's all. Say save and close. So how many shifts you have, all you can list out in the pattern. That's all. And again, how many work days within the shift that you can address. Now we have to create the schedule. Okay, manage facility schedules. Click on go to task icon. Say create. You can name it as Amex schedule. So for other batch also almost we created, we use the same Amex. So the information got saved in the browser. So that's how it is just displayed. Selecting the similar name. Now click on add the under workday patterns. So sequence is 1. And what are the workday pattern we created? You can select here. Amex workday pattern and say save and close. Okay. Just say yes. So this is a schedule we required at the time of inventory organization creation. We will see when it is required, we will use it. Done. So we are ready with the facilities. Facilities nothing but inventory calendar we created. And as a part of P2P cycle we discussed, okay, So there will be inventory organization within that staging area and the sub-inventories. Take simple example, your client has 3 warehouses. Each warehouse we create in the system as an inventory organization. Say inventory organization 1, inventory 2, inventory 3. And say in 3 warehouses, your client is maintaining the stock related to iPhone. Now to maintain the iPhone stock within the inventory 1, you have to create item called as iPhone within the inventory 1. Then you can maintain the stock. Actually, forget about stock. First, you have to create item so that how much stock is available you can enter. Again, in inventory 2 also you are going to maintain iPhone stock, so you have to create item. Again, here also you have to create the item in this inventory. In the same way, if you are going to have 100 warehouses, you have to create iPhone item in the 100 warehouses. That means system is same, inventories are different. We are going to create the same item again and again in the different inventories. This we call as duplication. Okay, this we call as duplication. If you have 3 warehouses, in 3 warehouses, if you are going to maintain the iPhone, what we have to do is we have to create the same item in the 3 inventory organizations. If you have 100 warehouses, in 100 warehouses, the system point of you have to create iPhone 100 times. Then you can maintain the stock in inventory 2. How many iPhone stock you have? 3 and 4. This is how you can maintain. So this is what we call as a duplication. Same system, same item, for each inventory purpose you are creating. So this is not the correct practice. So for that reason, what we can do is, as per our system, you can create item master organization. So item creation purpose, within the system you can create item master organization. Within this item master organization you can create the items. So you can create iPhone. Now this iPhone related stock you want to maintain in how many inventories, assign the same to all inventories. iPhone is required in the inventory 1. See, we are not creating iPhone again in the inventory 1. We are creating item within the item master organization. That item we are assigning wherever we want to maintain that item related stock. Now there is no duplication. Only one item you created. The item related stocks where you are going to maintain, you are assigning that item to respect to inventories. Now the iPhone you have 100 stock within the inventory 1. The same you assigned, you are not creating again. You can enter stock 100 for iPhone. So this is how you can manage item definitions within the system with the help of item master organization. As per your business, if your client has 10 warehouses, create 10 inventory organizations and plus one additional one. The additional one we call as item master organization. Item master organization is not a real one. You don't see in the business, only that you can see in the system. What purpose? To create the items. If this item master organization is not there, if you have a 10 warehouses, in 10 warehouses, if you are going to maintain the stock called as a bike, the 10 times you have to create it. In each inventory, one time. If you have item master organization, you can avoid the duplication. You can create single item that you can assign in which warehouses that item stock you want to maintain. You are going to deal with that item. Simply you can assign. So this is how you can avoid the duplication. That is the purpose of item master organization. So these inventory organizations, inventories are physical, real. How many you have in the business, create those many as inventory organizations. And you have to create one additional one called as item master organization. Item master organizations are not real one. You don't see in the business, you will see in the system only. So that is the reason we call it as a virtual. Okay, item master organization is virtual one. These inventory organizations are physical, which you can see in the business. So this is the point we have to understand. Now we'll go and see how to create the item master inventory organization so that we will be able to create the items. Items we cannot create directly in the inventory organizations or inventories. Okay, as per my enterprise structure we discussed. Under business unit you can have a inventory organization. Each warehouse we create as a inventory. So we cannot create any items within the inventories or inventory organizations. Items can be created only in the item master organizations. Okay, now we'll see how to create the item master organization or item master inventory organization you can call. We'll create. So what is the location for item master organization? What do you think? What would be the location for item master organization?
A warehouse location?
No location, yeah. You can say that, but reality, yeah, if you want to map some location, yes, you may do that, but reality it is not there in the business. So when you create item master organization, we don't specify any location. This is not real one. If it is a physical one, yes, there will be physical location. Since it's a virtual one, location is not applicable. Yeah. Let's see how to create it. Item master organization. So within our project, search for the task called as item organization. Okay. Task name is manage item organizations. Click on this task. Okay. Manage item organizations. Click on go to task icon. Say create. Name. You can give the name as Amex item master inventory organization. So here they given the field name as a organization. This is nothing but organization code. Okay, you can give the name in the short name or you can give the full name. I think you can do, but reality here short name is enough. So Amex item master. Okay, AIM Amex item master. This is how you can give the short name for the inventory organization name what you are giving. Fine. What is the purpose of this item master? Item management, not inventory management. Inventory management means stock maintenance. Item management means just to create and manage the items information. This is required. Correct. Location. What is the location for this? No location. It's not physical, it's a virtual. Okay. It is not physical, it's a virtual. Here, we are not going to do any business transactions with this, just for item maintenance. So you no need to assign legal entity into primary ledgers in case of item master organization. Okay. When usage is item management, you never perform any transactions with this, only you'll create and maintain the items with this. That is the reason you don't need to map this with any primary ledger and legal entities. That's all. Just provide the name and you can provide the organization code and say next. Click on next. And whatever the item organization we are creating, for that, what is the item master? Okay. For this inventory organization, which is the item master, same. There is no new one. Whatever we are creating, that only item master organization. Select the same name. When you create item master inventory organization, the same name you have to select. When you are creating the physical one, for physical one, which is a master means master inventory, we have to select. Whatever you are selecting, the same you have to select as item master. Okay, done. Now just click on save and close. So item master inventory is ready. Done. And now we'll create the real inventory. So client is operating the business in so location. So they have a warehouse in that location. That warehouse we have to create in the system as a child inventory. Child inventory organization is nothing but real inventory, physical inventory. Your business unit location and the child inventory location is both are same. You can just use the same location, or else you can create, if your inventory location and where business unit locations are different, you can create the separate inventory location. Okay, separate inventory location. Well, let's create the location for this inventory if it is different from business unit. If it is same as the business unit, you can use the same location for inventory also. You can search for the task called as manage locations. Click on manage locations. Say go. Click on create. Say Amex inventory. Or else yes, this is what you can take. Amex dollars inventory means, and we have a inventory warehouse in the dollars. Amex dollars. Here you can provide the address. Amex dollars address. Select the postal code, city, state, county. It would default. Search. Okay. Pick any one of the postal code. Then submit. Vertex code is missing. Somewhere is, I think somebody just modified something. No issues, will use any one of the existing location. Now we'll see how to create the inventory organization. You can call us child inventory organization or real inventory organization or physical inventory organization, all are same. Search for inventory organization. Task name is manage inventory organizations. Click on go to task icon. So create. Okay. Okay. So here we can give the name as Amex dollars inventory organization. We can give the code. So Amex dollars inventory. Here you can see the usage. Usage is inventory management. That means we can maintain the stock within this. Okay, the previous one, whatever we created as item master, usage we have seen as a item management. Here inventory management. So this real inventory should be under business unit. We have seen in the enterprise structure, okay, the inventory we can have under the business unit. So this inventory, the dollars inventory organization, you are going to have under which business unit as per your enterprise structure, you have to select that BU here. Select business unit. Select and say okay. And what are the location we have for this business unit? The same is defaulting here. That you can accept. If location is different, you can change it for this inventory. Okay, for this inventory, system is taking the location from business unit. If the BU location and inventory locations are same, okay, accept what system is taking, or else you can change. You can select the different location. Change it. Okay, search and select. So to this business unit, whatever the primary ledger is associated, that system is defaulting. Now you can select the legal entity. Okay, legal entity name. Then click on next. And here we have to specify. So if you want to assign the items, we discussed here. Item master is the one where we create items. These are the child inventory organizations. We have to create item in the item master. Those we have to assign to inventories. Now, if you want to assign the items to this Amex dollars inventory, where you are going to create the items? What is the item master organization name that we have to select here? Okay, for this dollars inventory, where you are going to create the items? We are going to create items in the Amex item master inventory organization. Here you can select the grouping, item grouping behavior as a definition organization so that you will have a full privileges when you create items. We created one schedule, right? That we have to select here. The facilities. So facility schedules we created that we have to select here. So Amex schedule. Okay, Amex schedule. Just select. The other details are not mandatory at all. Okay, these are the different features as a part of inventory application. So we don't need to go through anything not required. So what are the mandatory information we are setting here? Okay, now say save and close. That's how our inventory organization is ready. Fine. So inventory organization we created. Now we'll go on the setup few functions. Okay. Procurement business function. We have to set up procurement business function. This is one of the setup. So within the payables, we configured common options, invoice options, payment options. In the same way for procurement applications. So this is business function related setup you have to do. If you are from EBS background, in EBS we have a purchasing options. The same purchasing options in Fusion we are calling as procurement business function. So we'll see how to set up this. Okay.
Hello, Lakshman. One single question.
Please.
In the previous page you created, added an organization as ADI. ADI stands for what?
Sorry?
On the previous page of the setup, you put organization as ADI.
I given the actual name and I given the short name.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. It stands for MX
All
Dallas inventory.
inventory. Short,
Okay. Thank you.
yeah. That we call as organization code. Yeah. Organization code. Right. Now we'll go and set.
There is no sub-inventory here, Lakshman.
Yeah, please.
Hello, Mr. Lakshman. There is no sub-inventory here. We don't create.
Sub-inventory. We have sub-inventory. We'll create. We'll create. Here, I make.
Okay. Okay.
Right. So we see sub-inventory is mandatory. Reality, business may not have a sub-inventory in some scenarios, but still, as per system, it is mandatory. If no sub-inventory, you cannot receive the material into any inventory organization. If you have it, if you see in the client business, how many sub-inventories they have accordingly you can create. If they don't have any sub-inventory, at least you have to create the dummy sub-inventory. Then only you can receive the material into inventory organization. Fine. We'll go and configure procurement business functions. Go to implementation project, search for procurement business functions. So the task name is configure procurement business function. Okay, configure procurement business function. Click on go to task icon. Select business unit name, Amex US business unit, say OK. Here you can select inventory organization. Which inventory organization you want to map with this business unit? Amex dollars inventory organization. When you create the requisition or purchase orders, we have to select the line type. That which line type you want to select, that you can set here. Let's say goods. You can change it. So within this business unit, if you are going to create the requisitions and purchase orders, mostly you create in which currency? Select that as a default currency. So that's all. Those are the basic details which you have to provide. Now you can click on. There is a lot of other information, but this is not required for us. If you are going to work on purchasing application or procurement application, yes, you should understand the document types, etc. A lot of other details, but for us not required. When you are working as a finance consultant, this should be done by SEM only. So just we are trying to set the basic setup. That's all. Here you can say save and close. The same way we have to set a requisitioning business function. Okay. You set procurement business function, you will be able to create the purchase orders. Okay. And if you set the requisition business function, system will allow us to create the requisitions. The next task is configure requisitioning business function. Click on go to task icon. Select Amex US business unit. Say OK. Here you can select default deliver to location. So the same, just Amex dollars inventory. So when you purchase anything, when you are going to purchase anything, when you raise the requisition, we want to get the material to where? To dollars inventory. So there is only one field mandatory in this page. Rest you no need to provide. Say save and close. Then changes are updated. Now to implement this P2P cycle, okay, to implement P2P cycle, common options we have to set. Already we completed this setup as a part of payables application, right? Common options already we configured. Let's see here. Yeah. So common options already configured. So if you are doing these P2P related setups without doing any payable related configuration, you have to complete that. Already the setup is completed as a part of payables. Now you have to set the receiving parameters. When you receive the material into inventory organization, what are the points you have to consider? What rules, what conditions you want to set on the receiving process that you can set by using the receiving parameters. Search for receiving parameters task. Okay, manage receiving parameters. Click on go to task icon. The receiving parameters you want to set for which inventory? We will receive the material into which inventory? We can receive the material into only child inventories, not into master. So select our inventory organization. Amex dollars inventory organization. Say OK. For this inventory, we can set the receiving parameters. So let's fill the mandatory fields here. Receipt dates exceed action. Okay, receipt dates exceed action. So you just placed order to supplier and you requested to supply within 10 days. But if you receive after 10 days, what action you want to take, that you have to set. System has to give the warning if you are receiving bit late, or system has to reject the receiving, or no action from the system. You can set that. Over receipt action. If you are going to say you place order for 10 quantity, you are receiving 20 quantity from the supplier. In that case, what action you want to take? You want to reject that receiving, or you want system has to throw the warning message, or no action is required from system. You can set how it is required as per business. You can set all this. And receipt routing. Okay, we have 3 receipt routing methods. This we will discuss when you are working on the relevant process. For now, just make a note. This you can make a note as receipt routing methods. Okay, receipt routing methods. Direct delivery, inspection required, standard receipt. Okay, how you are going to receive the material into your inventory, that you can define with this receipt routing method. We discussed in the P2P. Let's talk about now. Receipt routing method. One is direct delivery. Second one is standard receipt. Means direct delivery method, standard receipt routing method, and inspection required. How you are going to receive the material from the suppliers? Okay, that you can define with this receipt routing methods. Direct delivery. That means directly will take the material from supplier to our inventory organization. That is a one-step process. Okay. You have sub-inventory. You have your inventory. Okay. Within your inventory only you will have a sub-inventory. Or you can say staging. Within the inventory will have a staging, right? And your supplier. When you are receiving the material, if you are going to receive the material directly from supplier to sub-inventory without any intermediate step called as receiving into staging, moving into sub-inventory, that we call as direct delivery. Okay, direct delivery means directly we receive the material from supplier to your sub-inventory. That is the direct delivery. What does it mean by standard receipt routing method? So it is 2 steps process. First we'll get from the supplier to staging, and then from staging we'll move the material to sub-inventory. This is 2 steps process. If any organization is following this process, that we call a standard receipt routing method. Okay, first we get into staging area, then we'll move to sub-inventory. This is standard receipt routing method. Inspection required. Okay, first step is we receive the material into staging. First step. Second step is inspection. Okay, second step is we'll move that to inspection department. After inspection, whatever is accepted, that we will move to sub-inventory. This is 3 steps process. First receive the material from supplier to staging, then move to inspection, QA department, inspection department, and after inspecting, accepted quantity will take into sub-inventory, rejected quantity we can send it back to the supplier. This we call as inspection required. So what process organization is following, okay, that you can select. Or else in the same organization, these different processes can be followed. Okay, based on the item and the supplier, etc. You can follow when you are creating the purchase orders and all. You can set for this purchase order related item, direct delivery is applicable. For so and so item related purchases, okay, standard receipt routing is required. For so and so PO, purchase order inspection is required. This approach is required. This is how you can set. But just simple point here, what we have to understand is how you are receiving the material into your organization, that we call as receipt routing methods. Ideally, we have three types: direct delivery, standard receipt, and inspection required. In direct delivery, directly we receive the material from supplier to sub-inventory. In standard receipt routing method, first we'll get into the staging, then we'll move to sub-inventory. In case of inspection required, okay, we'll get the material into staging. From there, we'll move to inspection department. Once it is inspected, accepted quantity will take into sub. So this is all about receipt routing methods. For now, you can set standard receipt routing method. When you are working on the process, you will see how to change, how that can be implemented.
What is a sub-inventory?
Sorry?
What is sub-inventory? What is the concept, you know?
I think you missed out P2P and O2C cycle discussions. See, you have warehouse. You can do the partition to the warehouse. Okay. You have home. We do the partition like kitchen, hall, bedroom, and for what purpose? For the convenience of the purpose. Okay. We do the partition. That's how you can just manage anything separately. In the same way, in the warehouse also, you can do the partition maybe for the purpose of to separate and maintain the items separately. Okay. If it is a one single warehouse without any partition, every item you have to put in same place without partition, that will become big dump or big mess. If you do the partition, you'll have a flexibility of maintaining the items separately. Okay, you have warehouse, you may split into 10 partitions, and if you are going to manage the 10 items, you can choose which partition you want to, in which partition, which item you want to maintain. Accordingly, you can plan and you can maintain. Whenever you want to pick that item also, it will be easy. In the first partition, you will have so-and-so item. The second partition, you can maintain the books of records also. So when you purchase, it will become easy for you to place in which partition, which item has to be placed. When you are selling also, easily you can go and pick which item is available in which partition. For that convenience, inventory can be partitioned into sub-inventories.
Got it. Thanks.
Yeah. So receipt number. Okay. When you receive the material into inventory, we have to generate the numbering. So whether you want to enter manual number or automatic, that you can set here. Okay. Ideally, we create receipt number automatically. So when you receive the material, we discuss in the P2P cycle, the complete process flow. So against the purchase order, we receive the material and we create the GRN, goods receipt note. When you create that receipt, how the receipt number system has to generate, that we can set here, say automatic. If it is automatic, it's only numeric number you can set. What should be the number? So system has to generate the number from 1. But there is some bug for this field. This field name should be last user number. If you give 1, it will generate from 2. Okay. So 2. So that's how it will generate. If you want to start number from 1001 or 101, so you can give here 100. The first number would be 101. So just notice this. There is no there is a mismatch with the field functionality and the label what they are giving. Okay, as per the field functionality, the label name should be last user number. Okay, if I give next number as 100, it won't become next. The system will understand this is already used, and next number would be next to this number what we are giving. That's how it works. And RMA, in what is the cycle we discussed, we do the sales to the customers, and there could be returns from the customers that we call as sales returns. In case of sales returns, when customer will return that material, again that customer return material we have to take into inventory, right? So that we have to record in the books as a RMA, okay, return material authorization. That is nothing but sales returns. When customer say you sold 100 quantity, customer return 10 quantity. When customer will return 10 quantity, you have to take into inventory only. You have to create the receipt for that. In that process, okay, how you are going to take the material? Directly you will take into sub inventories, or what is it routing method you want to follow, that you can set here. That's all. So these are the basic details we have to set as a part of receiving parameters. We are not going to work on receiving part or inventory part to understand the complete information. So that is the reason these details are enough. Okay, we have to make sure that the basic setups are ready so that we can run the P2P cycle. We can see how to create the requisition purchase order, and how to create the receipt. Okay, how we can create invoice based on the PO and receipt, and we can test the different scenarios. For that reason we are doing these setups. Otherwise, these setups are not related to us. Then, okay. So just follow the same. What we are doing, just when you are practicing, you do the same, so that system will allow us to test P2P cycle. So save and close.
Mr. Lakshman, good morning. There's one small doubt. See, in the inventory organization, is it a 2-level hierarchy or 3-level hierarchy? I mean to say, inventory organization we are creating where we create the virtual items, right?
No. Say, item master. Item one, where we create items. Inventory organizations are the organizations to maintain the stock related information.
Okay.
Remember enterprise structure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the hierarchy. That is the hierarchy.
So,
Standard hierarchy as per enterprise structure. These just see, inventory organizations only are part of item master. Where enterprise structure. To support these, will have a item master organization, but never think about item masters organizations will fall within the hierarchy in the system or as a part of enterprise structure. No item master organization. Okay, to support organizations, we use item master organization. Don't try to include this in any hierarchy.
okay, now where do you have the warehouse structure in this hierarchy plus sub inventory? We are talking about sub inventory also, right? So where is this
This inventory?
Sorry?
Sub inventory is part of part of inventory. Okay, within the inventory you will have a sub inventory inside, but doesn't falls under hierarchy as per enterprise structure. If you want to see, as per enterprise structure, no hierarchy between item master and inventory and sub inventory. Apart from that, if you want to understand this, you can understand like this. Item master, under item master you can take inventory organization. Under inventory organization you can take sub inventory for your understanding. That's all. But don't put this information into enterprise structure.
Okay.
Yeah. This is what you can understand as a kind of what sort of hierarchy this inventory related information can be managed. Item master. Within the item master will create items. Those items will be assigned to inventory organization. Directly you cannot store inventory related stock and all. Okay, that always we have to maintain the stock within the sub inventory. This is the hierarchy you can understand. Item master, inventory organization, within the inventory organization, sub inventories. But this hierarchy is not part of enterprise structure. When you see enterprise structure, business unit, under business unit, inventory organization only. Okay, we count only this. Yeah, we don't count item master or sub inventory as a part of enterprise structure. Done. So to complete this inventory and the purchasing setups, we have to complete the procurement agent setup also. Already that we completed as a part of P2P payables application. Why we created procurement agent? With what reason we created a procurement agent? With what reason we created procurement agent? As a
To create supplier sites.
yeah. To create the supplier sites and to assign the supplier sites to business unit, employee user need to be converted as a procurement agent. Otherwise, you cannot. So that is the reason we created. Now we have to set the default buyer. Buyer is nothing but procurement agent only. Okay, procurement agent only we call as a buyer. Why we have to set default buyer? So in the P2P cycle, we'll see how to create the purchase order through manual process as well as how system can create the purchase order automatically also we will test. We'll create the requisition. The requisition can be converted as a purchase order or else directly we will see how to create the purchase. We'll test two scenarios. How to create the PO purchase order based on the requisition. How the manual PO can be created, both we will see. But when system would create purchase order automatically based on the requisition information, system will look for default buyer. Okay. So for that reason, we have to set one buyer, one procurement agent as a default for our business unit. Okay. There could be a number of procurement agents within one business unit. Okay. There could be a number of people who will work within the purchasing department. So you may have 10 buyers. But when you are going to create the purchase order automatically, whom system has to select as a buyer for that purchasing document, that we have to set. We'll go and set that. Okay. Go to project, search with the term called as buyer. So use this task, manage buyer assignment rules. Okay, manage buyer assignment rules. Click on go to task icon. Say add. Select our BU name. And select buyer name. Max. Done. So based on the requisition, if you are going to create the purchase order, system will derive Amex as a buyer for the documents. Or else say PO. Your procurement BU also you have the same equation BU, it is defaulting as a procurement BU. Based on the requisition, when you are going to create the purchase order, system will pick this person as a buyer for the document. That's all. Say save and close. Other conditions are not required for us. Fine. So when you create requisitions and purchase orders, system will look for few accounts. Okay, when you just create the purchase order and requisition, system will look for few accounts. These are the accounts. System will look for these 5 accounts. When you create requisitions and purchase order. When you create the requisition, system will look for this charge account. When you create the requisition, system will look for this charge account. When you create the purchase order, system will look for these 3 accounts. These 3 accounts are only mandatory. These additional 2 accounts are required if you are going to do the transactions between the organizations. So you are doing the some sort of item movements within the inventory organizations. We have two inventory organizations. We are moving the material from one inventory organization to another inventory organization. Those scenarios only these accounts are required. The destination. Okay. So where you are moving the material and all you have to capture. For that you can use these accounts. Ideally, these three accounts are mandatory. These two are optional. If you are dealing with such kind of scenarios, then only these accounts are required. Okay. So otherwise, when you create the requisition, system will look for the account called as charge account. Okay. The charge account. And when we create the purchase order, system will look for these three accounts. We will discuss when you talk about P2P accounting entries. There you will understand what does it mean by this accrual account and all this we will discuss. But as of now, simple point you can take, when you create the requisition, system will look for this account. If this account is not available in the system, you cannot process the requisition. When you create the purchase order, these three accounts are required, mandatory. If these accounts are not available as per setups, you cannot process the purchase order. So that is the reason these we have to set up. These we have to set up. So far, what are the setups we have seen related to inventory and purchasing? Nowhere we given the accounts. If somebody is from EBS background, you know very well. The accounts we set in the inventory parameters, in the receiving parameters or say receiving options and purchasing options. These are the places where we set the accounts in case of EBS. But equal to that, already we completed setups in the today's session. Nowhere we given the accounts. The accounts we have to set separately when you are dealing with this inventory and purchasing applications. Okay. To set up the accounts, we have three definitions. Receipt accounting, to set up all receipt related process accounting. Okay. And cost accounting and the PO tab. PO means purchasing, tab means transaction accounting builder. Transaction accounting builder. So these are mandatory to generate the accounting entries for inventory related activities and receipt creations. But without setting up those two, you will be able to create the transactions. But without setting up PO tab, you cannot create the requisitions and purchase orders. Okay. So the SCM consultant should complete the setups for these three definitions for accounting point of view. Okay. Receipt accounting, cost accounting, PO tab. These three setups need to be completed to generate the accounting entries related to receipt and costing related. But this is a mandatory to complete to create the transactions like requisitions, purchase orders. We don't need to focus on this. That inventory, even this also should be created by SCM consultant only. But if you don't complete that, you cannot create the requisitions on purchase order. That is the reason. Let's go and complete this setup with a basic information. Okay, you don't need to become expertise on this. Not required. It's not relevant to us. So we'll complete the PO tab definition so that it will allow us to create the requisitions purchase orders and we'll be able to test the P2P cycle. So this is the point you have to notice. Now within the PO tab only we have these five accounts. Okay. PO tab only we have these five accounts. Out of five, these three are mandatory. But for just we will go and create these five account related rules and all. If you want to implement, if you want to set up PO tab, purchasing transaction accounting builder, TAB means transaction accounting builder. We have to create the rules first. Okay. Take these points. We have to create the account rules. For five accounts, you have to create the five rules. Then five rules you can group and you can create the PO tab. The task wise you could see as a transaction accounting definition. but we call it as a transaction accounting builder. You can see the Oracle documentation, that's how they refer. So task name you can see as a transaction accounting definition. Because of transaction accounting definition, we don't call it as a TAD, we call it as a tab only. Okay, this is a point we have to notice. So first we'll create the rules for these 5 accounts, then we'll group all those rules that only we are calling as a PO tab. This we have to assign to our ledger, so that by using our ledger, when you create the requisition or purchase order within this PO tab, for requisition time which charge account it has to take, PO creation time which accrual and variance and charge account system has to take, system will derive, so that you will be able to process the requisitions and purchase orders. Okay. So for these 5 accounts, we'll go and create the 5 rules. We'll group those 5 rules by using the PO tab. That PO tab we will assign to our primary ledger, so that we'll be able to record the transactions like requisition, purchase order within the PO tab. Whatever the information is available for these accounts, system will fetch automatically. So this is a point we have to understand here. Now we'll go and create the rules for these 5 accounts. Accrual account rule, charge account rule, variance account rule. These 2 you may ignore, or else let's complete this. It won't take much time. Destination charge, destination variance accounts. For these 5 accounts, first we'll create 5 rules, then we'll create the PO tab by grouping those 5 rules. The same will assign to our primary ledger. Yeah. Let's see how to create those rules. So you can search for the task called as account rules, or say manage account rules. Okay, manage account rules. Here when you look at this manage account rules, it is there for procurement and financials also. You should select procurement related path only. It's very important here. Okay, you have to select the account rule related task by following the path called as procurement. We are not going to create account rules for financials. We are going to create account rules for procurement, which will support the requisition purchasing document creation. So here is the procurement, right? Click on manage account rules. So we have a task called as manage account rules. Click on go to task icon. So click on create here. You can name it as, you can take these accounts. Accrual account. The Amex accrual account. The short name you can say Amex accrual, and select our chart of accounts. Our chart of accounts name is Amex. Search, select, save. Because we created through wrapped implementation. After creating, we didn't do any changes to the name. Right? So it is there as this. And here you can create the rule. Click on add. So we are not going to work on inventory or purchasing applications. Okay, that is not our area. So that is the reason we are not going to discuss complete information about it. Okay, what we should understand to complete these basic setups, we'll focus on that. Here you can select rule type as a constant. Rule type you can select as constant. So if required, which accrual account system has to take, here you can select. The accrual account nature is liability. Remember this. If you select the wrong nature accounts in this setup, it won't allow you to create the documents like requisition purchase order. It's very, very important. So accrued account is nothing but liability account. the P2P cycle, we will understand what is the difference between accrual and what is the difference between liability and how accounting takes place. But for now, just remember this point. The accrual account, whatever you are going to select, that account nature, the type should be liability account. Just search for that accrual account if it is available, okay? Or else you can just pick accounts payable account. Click on advanced. So it contains search. Yeah, no issues. Basically, we can choose here inventory accrual account. That is not there. You can pick expense accrual account. Nothing wrong. Okay. So select any one of the accrual account. No issues. Reality here, the inventory people, what they can do as per their accounting requirement. One account they can set for expense, one for inventory. Again, they can set some conditions. Based on the conditions, these accounts can be derived. For that, they use the concept called as mapping set also. But that complete stuff is not required for us. Let's complete the setups which are required to support our P2P cycle. So accrual account, whenever accrual account is required, system will take this account. Done. Now say save and create another. The next account, charge account. Charge account nature should be expense account. Say Amex charge account. Amex charge, some short name you can provide. Select our chart of accounts. Search, select and say OK. Rules, constant, here's charge account. Okay, if any some charge account is already defined, okay, or else you can choose any one of the expense account. Testing. Some this charge relevant is not there. No issues. You just the nature should be expense only. You can pick any one of the expense account. Pick any one of the expense account. Right, say save and create another. The next one is variance account. So Amex variance account. Select our chart of accounts. So that from this chart of accounts, we can select the account code combination for this variance account. Click on add. Say constant rule. And the same like charge account code combination you can use for this, no issues. Just save and create another. The other two accounts are destination charge and destination variance. Amex destination charge account. Amex select our chart of accounts. So select and say OK. For destination charge, I'm giving the same account, the charge account code combination. I'm just copying. I just copied and pasted here. So create another. So we're done with the charge. Now you can create variance account. Amex destination variance account. Select our chart of accounts. Say OK. Just click on add constant. Provide code combination. But remember, for accrual, system will validate. Accrual account, whatever the account code combination you're choosing, the account should be a liability account. Okay, liability account. For charge account, the nature should be expense account. These two system will validate. For remaining, it won't validate. But these two system will validate. If something goes wrong, you cannot process the requisitions and purchase orders. Say save and close. We created account rules for 5 accounts. Here you could see Amex accrual, charge, variance, destination charge, destination variance. Done. Now what we have to do? We have to create PO tab. The actual task name is transaction account definition, but that same we call as tab. So here is the task: manage transaction account definition. Okay, click on go to task icon. Click on go to task icon. Say create. Yep. So you can give the name as Amex PO tab, Amex tab. Select our chart of accounts. Amex, say OK. Within that, you can find 5 accounts only. Okay, within the PO tab, you can find 5 accounts. For 5 accounts, we can assign those 5 rules what we created. So for accrual account, assign accrual account rule. Amex accrual account rule. For charge account, assign the charge account rule. Amex charge account. The destination charge account, assign Amex destination charge account. Then destination variance account. Destination variance account. The final one is variance account. Assign Amex variance account. That's all. Now say activate. Okay, the activation process is complete. Say OK. Now this we have to assign, this PO tab we have to assign to our ledger, so that when we use our ledger to create the requisitions or purchase order, as per this PO tab, whatever the information we have for charge, okay, accrual, variance, for this whatever the code combination is available, that system will use for the POs and the document purchase order creation time. Now this we have to assign to our primary ledger. Okay, assign tab to primary ledger. Tab means PO tab. So go to this task, manage subledger accounting options. Okay, manage subledger accounting options. Now you can proceed with any task irrespective of path. When you create account rule, path is important. Path should be procurement related path. Now when you go to these options, you can choose anyone. So click on manage subledger accounting options. Click on go to task icon. Now find your primary ledger here. Click on search. So this is our primary ledger. The primary ledger, within that primary ledger, we have subledger accounting that is applicable for all these applications. Now go to purchasing application. Here is the purchasing application. So we have accounting options. Against purchasing, click on accounting options. Edit icon. Okay. So click on this edit. And here Oracle is providing by default dummy tab. Say purchasing tab default accounting. Okay, it's a dummy one. With this system will not create any accounting. By default, Oracle provides dummy one that we have to remove. Select whatever we create. Amex PO tab. Okay. Amex PO tab. Whatever we just created that we are assigning to our ledger, that too for purchasing application. Now say save and close. Say done. Okay, this is what we have to do. Now with this primary ledger, if you create requisitions, it will derive the charge account as per the setup. If you create the purchase order, it will take charge, accrual and variance accounts. That's how it works. Done. Okay. Now we'll go and set up the.
Can you please throw some, sir, can you please throw some light on the variance account used here?
I'll show you when we create the document. When you create the purchase order,
Okay.
it will show there. We will see in which document it is taking. First, we will see there. I'll explain purpose. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Just here you can remember what accounts we are setting up. That's all. When it comes to usage, we will discuss the purpose, why it is taking there. Right. Now we'll go and set the approvals for requisition and purchase order. Okay, for requisition purchase order, we'll set the approvals. So we don't need to focus on what are the variety of approvals we have for requisition purchase order. Simply we'll set the rule. If any requisition will be created against Amex US business unit, system has to approve it automatically. That's how we will go and set it up. For invoices, we didn't set automatic approval. Reason that is not required. System won't look for approval. If you enable, approval required, otherwise not required. But here, by default, it will look for approvals. That is the reason to bypass that approval process, you can set the auto approvals. So we'll go and set the approvals for requisition purchase order by creating the simple rules. So here, search for approvals. Search with the term called as approvals within the project. Here we have one task called as manage requisition approvals. Click on manage requisition approvals. To set up the approvals for our invoices, we navigated to BPM, that is separate page. The same they reframed for purchasing application, and they are giving the environment where easily you can go and set that. Okay. So the background we have BPM only for this also, but they created some framework which will make the rules definition job easy. We'll see that. Okay, manage requisition approvals is the task. Click on go to task icon. So in the workflow, we have seen the different nodes for our invoices, right? In the same way, for requisition related workflow, this is here, these all are the nodes. To create the rule, what we did, we enabled one node. Within that node, we created rule. Here also, we have to enable the nodes. Already one node is enabled. You can see here. This is how here for purchasing application. This is how they display workflow related information. I'm disabling that node. Okay, I'm going to enable this node. Okay, we no need to understand this because we are not going to work on this. Just follow that points what we are doing and try from your end. We'll be able to test the P2P cycle. Testing P2P cycle is our target, not like understanding inventory and do purchasing functionalities. So use this node. Okay, select this node. So parallel consensus, this node, remember. So enable it first. We'll go to create the rule inside of this node. Now select this node and click on edit rules. Okay, let's create the rule. Click on create. We'll say Amex auto create, or say Amex auto approvals. Say okay. What is the condition? Scroll a little down. Here you can give the condition. Click on add condition. If requisition, when you create the requisition, if requisition is going to be created for our BU, it should be approved automatically. So parameter or attribute is requisitioning business unit. Select attribute as a requisitioning BU. Requisitioning BU is equal to Amex. Say okay. Okay. The requisition BU is equal to Amex US business unit. What is the action? Add action. The action is approvals are not required. Should be automated as a approve. If any requisition is going to be created against Amex US business unit, irrespective of amount, system has to approve automatically. That's how we are creating the rule. Say okay. So in the workflow, after creating the rule for invoices, what we did, we saved and we submitted as a commit. Commit is nothing but deploy. Here also same we have to do. Say save and close. We create a rule in this and submit for deployment. Click on deploy. It is equal to commit. Click on done. The same way we have to create the approval rule for purchase orders. Here we have a task called as manage purchasing document approvals. Click on go to task icon. Same process. Don't try to become expert in this, not required. Just try to understand what minimum setup we have to do here. That's all. So disable the node which is already enabled. And we can use the node called as this. I'm selecting this node. Enable it first. So edit rules. To create the rules, you have to click on edit rules. Click on create. Amex say auto approval. And create the condition. Here attribute you can select as a procurement business unit. Procurement business unit in the sense PO. We will create PO with which BU that BU. So procurement BU. Okay. If procurement BU is equal to Amex US business unit, system has to approve automatically the purchase orders. So if procurement business unit is equal to, see here, procurement BU is equal to Amex US business unit, then what is the action? Add action. Approval required? No. Should be automatically approved. Automatic approve. So say save and close. To reflect the changes rule, whatever we created, we should deploy it. Click on deploy. Say done. Okay, we created rules. Now we'll go and create the sub inventory. Sub inventory always will create within the inventory organization. So we created one inventory called as Amex dollars inventory organization. In Amex dollars, we can create sub inventory. Search for the task called as sub inventory. Manage sub inventories under locators. Click on this task. See, further sub inventory also can be partitioned with the concept called as locators. But anyway, that is not required for us to understand. So sub inventory, okay, inventory organization we can partition into sub inventories. Sub inventory is mandatory, locators are not mandatory. So task name is manage sub inventories and locators is the task. Click on go to task icon. Now here we have to select, you want to create the sub inventory in which inventory organization? In which inventory organization? Amex dollars inventory. Since we have only one inventory organization, system is selecting here automatically. ADI, Amex dollars inventory. Yes, within this Amex dollars inventory only we want to create the sub inventory. To create the sub inventory, just click on create. What we are going to store in this sub inventory? Say iPhones. Better you can give the sub inventory name itself as iPhones. iPhones sub inventory. Just you can provide the name. Say save and close. Okay. Say okay. Done. Within the Amex dollars inventory organization, you created one sub inventory. Now, if you want to create the items, you have to create the item class. If you are from EBS background, the item class is not there in EBS to create the items. Directly, you can go and create the items in EBS, but in the Fusion, if you want to create the items, say iPhone or anything you want to create in the system as inventory items, the item class is required. In the item class level, you can set the security and you can set conditions, who can create items, who cannot create items. The items which you are going to create, those can be assigned to which inventory organization. Such kind of security related information you can set up. We'll go and see so that we can understand. If any questions, we'll discuss. Okay. So simple point is, if you want to create the items in Fusion as a part of inventory, item class is mandatory. Without item class, you cannot create the items. In EBS, there is no item class concept. Directly, you can create the items. Okay, here, item class we have to create. Let's create item class.
Item class is like item category.
No. Item category is item category. This is beyond the item category. We can include the item categories in item class. We'll see this. Once you see, you will understand. That's what. Yeah. Go to manage item classes. Click on go to task. Okay, by default, Oracle is providing one item class called as root item class. Whatever you create, you have to create under that. These are the different item classes already created. See here. all created for practice purpose. Okay. So you have to select root item class and click on create. You can give the name as, let's give this name Amex Computers. The same name is defaulting. Here you can copy and paste the same name as a description. Now click on save and add details. So we are creating item class. This is the item class name. This is the short name. This is the description. And here go to item management tab. When you create the items, if you are going to create any items, you have to choose the item class. With the help of item class only, you can create the items. With the help of item class, what you can do is you can generate the item numbers. Okay, with the help of item class, you can generate the item numbers. Here you can set what numbering you want to generate for items when you create. For the item class called as computers. Okay, when you create computer related items, you will choose this item class, accordingly it will generate the numbering. So number generation, you can select item number generation method. I would say sequence generated. So I can give user defined, then user will enter the number. Okay, I don't want to set this. I want system to generate, sequence generated. Here we'll give that numbering. And description generation. Okay, say that should be created by user. So number should be created by system, but description should be provided by user. This is how you can set. Say what should be the starting number? 1001. Any prefix is required for the item numbering. Say I need Amex. That means system, if you create one item, it will generate the item number as Amex 1001. Next item, Amex 1002. Whether it has to increment by 1 or a 10, that you can set. Any, like, what is the increment size you can set. If I say 1, it will increment by 111. Amex 1001, Amex 1002, Amex 1003. If I give 10, Amex 1, Amex 11, Amex 21, this is how, like, it will increment by 10 if I give here 10. Okay, what frequency of numbers it has to generate, you can set. So suffix, if you require, you can set. That means after number, what system has to add as a suffix. That's all you can set. And security. Go to security. Here you can set by using this item class. By using this item class, who can create the items? Those items can be created in which item master. Those can be assigned to which inventory organizations you have to set here. Accordingly, system will allow. So under security, what you can do is click on add. Under this principle, you can add person so that you can give the permissions to the person. If you select the group, you can give for specific role people who got access to so and so role. Those people can do so and so activity. That is how you can set. Whether you want to set role based or person based, go with the person based and select person name. Select Amex. Say OK. And select organization. Select first item master organization. Here organization means organization code. Here search with that organization. Organization name. When you see organization anywhere, that is nothing but organization code. See, organization means organization codes. So first you can select item master. That means this Amex can create items within this item master organization by using this item class. And what are the various permissions you want to give, that you can set below. Here you have a actions. Click on add. What this Amex can do related to item, that you can give as a permissions here. Click on search. So these are the different permissions. If you want to give the full privileges, you can just select all. Here you can click on this section. It will be system will select all these privileges and say apply. And click on OK. So we added all privileges here. The same way we have to add our real inventory also, dollars inventory also here for the same user. Click on add. Amex, it will fetch. Okay. The items, whatever you are going to create from this item master, those you want to assign to how many child inventory organization, all you should add here. Okay, that's very important. You should add. And give the permissions. Expand this search. Click on search. Okay, select all. Say apply. Done. This is how you can. So this is what we have to do at item class level. Item class level, what we are doing is, by using this item class, which person can create items. Again, the items can be created in which item master organization. Whatever the items will be created in that item master organization, those can be assigned to which child inventory organization. When that person is going to do all these activities, what sort of privileges the person has, those all you can address here. As well as by using this item class, when you are going to create the items, so how the number need to be generated, how description need to be managed, all these we can set. Okay, all this we can set. And here you have it just templates and formats. Somebody asked like here, this item class related, these all are the templates and all you can manage, and you have a formats here which you can create based on the categories of the items. Okay, templates and formats. Here you can map with that category based templates and all to capture the items. So here basically what we have to understand is item management, where you can set item number generation, and security, who can create, which organizations that can be assigned. Just say save and close. Done. Now we'll see how to create item and how that item need to be assigned to our dollars inventory. Item, when you create item, the item you can create within the master only. You cannot create in the child. So we'll go and create the item in the item master inventory, that is Amex item master inventory. The same item will assign to Amex dollars inventory. Go to navigator. Within the navigator, you can find product management. How come product management you are able to see here? The reason, you have access to application implementation consultant role. If you don't have application implementation consultant role, if you assign inventory related roles to user, you will be able to have access to this. Now, because of application implementation consultant role, you are able to have access. If you don't have access to this role, if you are working for inventory application, inventory department, we have a separate roles for inventory. If you assign those to user, you will be able to access. What roles those are, we are going to see anyway. Now, because of application implementation consultant role, we are able to access to this section. Okay, product management. Under that, we have product information management, PIM, we call as a PIM. By using product information management only, you can create items. Click on this task. Click on product information management task and go to task list. Okay, click on task list. Create item. Select organization. In which item master organization you want to create item. Amex item master organization. Here only you can see item master organizations only. And select item class. Only one item class is associated with this inventory organization. Okay, item master. So Amex computers is item class. So when you create item, we have to enable many checkboxes. Those all we call as attributes. So the inventory people, what they can do is they can go and enable manually the item you can purchase and sell, or the item we can maintain in the stock within the inventory, or the item we are purchasing for selling purpose or to use as the raw material. Okay, they'll set all the profile of that item by using the attributes. So those all they can set through manual process, or else they can create the template. Within the template, when you create item, if they use the template, which checkboxes need to be enabled, which need to be disabled, they can set. So those are the templates here available. Okay, and you can select any one of the template. I am selecting just you can select finished good template, or you can select another template called as purchased items. Okay, or else you can select purchased item, so that automatically system will enable certain fields within this item, like the item we can use when you are purchasing, the item we can store within the inventory, the item same item we can use in the O2C cycle for sales purpose. So that is the reason you can select template called as purchased or finished good, or multiple templates also you can use. If you are already aware of these templates, if you are from EBS background, you can just use as per your knowledge. Otherwise, simply choose template called as purchased item template and select. That's enough. Now say OK. Already we set this item class level number should be generated automatically. It is generating the number automatically. It will display later. So prefix it is taking Amex, then it is generating the number. We specify description is user defined. User has to write. Item name is iPhone. So set this since these are mandatory. Item status is active. Life cycle phase is not applicable for this. Since field is mandatory, you can select any one of the values. Done. Now here, select primary unit of measurement. How you measure these items? The iPhones and all, how you measure as each, or a dozen, or kilograms, how you measure? The measurement you have to specify. If it is iPhone, you will measure as a each, count only, 1, 2, 3. So specify the unit of measurement. And if you go to specifications tab, here you can see automatically system is enabling all this. I am going to the purchasing tab. So it is marked as a purchasing yes. That means this item we can purchase in our organization. If you go to inventory, it is marked as a inventory item as yes. That means this item we can store in the inventory. If you go to sales and order management, it says customer ordered. Customer can place order to this item so that we can sell. How system is taking all these? Those all are there in this purchased item template. Okay, whatever is set as yes in the template, the system is copying to this item creation. Okay, this is the logic technique this SCM people follows. They can create the templates, and once they select the template, within the template, what are the fields are set to yes, those will be filled in this new item creation, or else manually they can set. Now this item you want to, this item related stock you want to maintain in which inventory? Ideally the item what we are creating within the item master, right? We selected item master inventory organization during the item creation process. Now this item we have to assign to child inventory. So go to associations tab, where we created this item in the item master. The same system is showing here. This item is created in the Amex item master inventory organization. Now, if you have item in the item master organization, you cannot do anything with this. Just this is only for item creation. If you want to say you purchased 10 iPhones, if you want to maintain 10 iPhones purchased, where you are going to maintain that, always you maintain in the real inventories, child inventories, in specific sub inventory. If you want to maintain that item stock and all, this item should be available in the child inventory. For that reason, we have to assign this item to our dollars inventory. Now click on add. Okay. Search for our inventory. Amex dollars inventory, right? Search Amex dollars inventory. Say apply. Click on done. Now this iPhone is created in the item master. The same we assign to dollars inventory also. Now say save and close. Okay. Now go to manage items. What is the description you given for item? iPhone, right? Search with that iPhone. See, the item number is Amex 1001. This is what we given at item class level. The item name is iPhone. Why it is showing the two items? Reason is this. This is created in item master, Amex item master, that is assigned to Amex dollars inventory. Okay, reality only one. The same item is available in which inventory organization is shown. That's all. Okay, you can click on this item and you can look into, this is a item master based item. You can click on the item, and if you want to do any changes anytime, just you can do it. So you don't want to store this item in the inventory, so you can go to inventory and you can set it is not inventory item, so that you cannot maintain the stock within the inventory. This is how you can set as per a requirement. Okay. So under actions, there are different actions which you can perform against this item and all. That's completely inventory related different functionality. So that's all. This is what we have to understand, how to create item and how to assign the item. Done. Done. Okay. So we'll wind up in max 10 minutes so that we can complete setups. So that tomorrow session we can test the process flow. Okay. Only 3 setups. Just please wait. Max 10 minutes. Now we'll go and assign the roles to user to work on inventory and purchasing application process. Inventory means we have to create the receipts. Purchasing means we have to create the requisitions and purchase orders. To create these transactions, we have to assign the required roles to user. Okay, we have to assign the required roles to current user. So go to security console to assign the roles to user. Tools, security console. Users or username is go to Amex user, click on edit, so add role, So first we'll assign inventory roles to this user. Say inventory manager. Select and assign. Better we can make a note in this spreadsheet so that when you are practicing you can use this. You can refer this information. Okay, we assign. Another role is a warehouse manager. Assign. You can assign one more role like warehouse operator. It's a very important role. So these are the basic inventory related roles so that you'll have a inventory application full access to perform the inventory related transactions. But we are not going to work on everything. Ideally, we create receipts, etc. We'll verify the stock within the inventory with the help of these roles. But it will give full access to inventory related transaction process. Now we'll add the roles related to purchasing. Okay, we'll go and assign the roles related to purchasing. Search for a role called as procurement manager. So assign. And you can search for requester also. Procurement requester. Assign. Make a note. And you search for preparer also. Procurement preparer. So these are the basic roles. Okay, basic roles. That's all. Okay, these three are enough. If you want to add one more, you can add it. That is like something advanced procurement request. Assign. Add it. These are very core roles related to entire procurement, not only for purchasing. Within the procurement, one of the applications is purchasing. Okay, there are many other sourcing and contracts, etc. We have many. So these all can be supported with these roles. Done. Okay, these are the inventory roles we assign. These are the procurement roles we assign. Now for inventory roles, we have to assign the inventory organization. For procurement roles, we have to assign the business unit. Okay, I will go and assign the inventory to these three roles, BU to these four roles. The task name is same. Data access for users. So save and close. Just click on done. Go to search page. Task list. Say data access for users. Username is Amex. Select first inventory roles and assign inventory organization. Only child inventory only you can assign. Item master organization won't be displayed here. We never create transactions with that. Say inventory manager. Security contest is we are going to assign inventory organization. So Amex. So here we have to search with the code only. So Amex dollars inventory is coming. If you search for master inventory, it won't come. Amex item master, it won't come. You cannot create transactions with this. This is for only item creation. So Amex dollars inventory, select. Just click on duplicate. Select role related to inventory, warehouse manager, inventory organization, MX dollars inventory. Click on duplicate. Select role as a warehouse operator, inventory organization, ADA. And click on duplicate. Assign business unit to procurement related roles. So here advanced procurement requester, business unit, BU name is Amex US business unit. Again click on duplicate. Select here, select procurement manager, select business unit, Amex US business unit. Select the role, preparer, select business unit, that is Amex US business unit, and click on duplicate. Procurement requester, select business unit, the BU name is Amex US business unit. Done. So for 3 inventory roles, we assigned inventory organization name. For 4 procurement roles, we assigned business unit. Then say save and close. Done. Now these assignments need to be synchronized. We know we have to run the job called as LLab. After completing this synchronization, only one setup we'll do, which takes just 1 minute time. Then we can wind up for today. So we'll be ready with all the setups. The tomorrow session we'll see how to create the requisition, how to create the purchase order through manual process automatically. Okay, how to create the invoice based on the PO, how to create invoice based on the PO and receipt. We'll test the different scenarios. The part of P2. You just submit LDAP. The roles will get synchronized. Okay. At least you wait for a couple of minutes, at least 2 minutes. At least wait for 2 minutes, then you can proceed with what you are expecting to do. It will support. Still, if you see the section like within the navigator, if you don't see the relevant tasks, you have to wait for some time. You have to think that the synchronization process, whatever you did and submitted in the queue. Fine. We'll just sign out and sign in and we'll check. Only one setup will complete, then we can wind up. What happened? This must have mistake. Fine. Log in. So we assign inventory related roles as well as procurement related roles. Because of these roles, you can find within the navigator some relevant access. Go to navigator. Within the navigator, okay, you can see supply chain execution. Okay, this is what you can see as new. The other one is under procurement, you can see additional tasks. Earlier we could see only supplier, right? Now you can see additional tasks. Now go to purchase requisition task and we'll complete just one setup and we'll stop. Under procurement, you can see procurement requisition task is added by system. Once you navigate to this page, go to more tasks and go to update requisition preferences task. Select update requisition preferences and you have to set the preferences. When you create the requisition, which default location system has to take as a deliver to location, that you have to set. Okay. Since there was some issue with the location creation, we didn't create any location, right? Now you can just select any one of the location. The same location system will default. And most of the time you create requisitions for what purpose? For expense purpose or inventory item purpose. That you have to set as a destination type. Select as inventory. Okay, when you create the requisition, our target is we want to get something into inventory. And what would be your default sub-inventory? When you receive the material, you will take into sub-inventory. We created only one. The same you can select. That's all. You can provide these information as a requisition preferences. When you are creating the requisition, automatically system will take these details. It will pick this location. It will take destination type as inventory. It will display sub-inventory as a iPhone sub-inventory. So this is how your system will fetch at the time of requisition creation. Say save and close. We are ready with the complete setups to work on the P2P cycle. Already AP is ready, right? And now we completed inventory and purchasing setups. In tomorrow's session, we'll see how to create the requisition purchase orders and we'll discuss and do it. Okay, we're done with the setups which are required for P2P. We're done for today. If you have any questions, you can stay back or else no discussions. Thank you all. Any questions, please?